The season is over. Anthony Davis is going to miss at least a month with a foot injury. Obviously, it's not actually over. They still have games to play, but their chances are not looking good at all. They already have a losing record in a tough Western Conference. Now they're losing arguably their best player for at least a month, and it could be longer. As I'm recording this, they're still doing further evaluations. I don't want to speculate, but the fact that they're still looking for second opinions is not a good sign. It's already come out that he'll miss about a month, so the further evaluation is making me think that it could be worse. There hasn't been an official diagnosis yet, so they're most likely seeing how severe the injury is and if it will require surgery, which could potentially be season-ending. And the fact that there was little to no contact on the foot when the injury occurred is worrisome. But I'm no doctor and I don't want to speculate before we get all the information. But let's just say he's out for exactly a month. They've already dug themselves in a hole with their losing record and are currently out of the playoffs. Without AD, they'll most likely dig themselves into a deeper hole in the loss column. This team is not built to survive without Anthony Davis. It wasn't even built to survive with Anthony Davis, if we're being honest. It's just that he was playing at such an insane level that he was able to keep them somewhat afloat. But in fact, his workload probably contributed to this injury. He was asked to carry the bulk of the offense. He's really the only good defender on the team, so he had to carry the team on that end as well. And he had to play a lot of minutes because this team can't close out games and couldn't keep leads with him on the bench. Plus, he already has an injury history. Yeah, this is not good. It's such a shame too because it looked like they were starting to build momentum. This all goes back to Rob Pelinka and the poor roster construction. Having Westbrook's contract is definitely a problem, and building a roster around that is a tough task. But there's absolutely no excuse for getting no shooting, no defense, no size. There's absolutely no reason to have that many point guards, that many players under 6'5". So of course, AD has to make up for that lack of size on defense. So not only is he playing a lot of minutes, he's working very hard in those minutes. So of course the risk of injury is higher. So now AD's out. What now? You still have LeBron, of course. We know he's capable of taking the load on offense. He's been doing that up until this season. But is that a smart thing to ask of a 38-year-old? Do you want to overwork him just like you did Anthony Davis and increase his risk of injury? The Lakers need LeBron and AD to be healthy if they want a chance at a championship. And a big part of that is surrounding them with the right players so they don't get overworked. Look at this team. After LeBron, who do you have? AD's out. Russell Westbrook is playing better, but is still questionable at times. And he's been benched to close out games a lot of times this season. Austin Reeves? Solid player, but he's only in his second year. You can't expect much of him. Lonnie Walker? Maybe. Still not consistent enough. How many of these guys on the roster can start for other teams in the league? How many of these players actually make another NBA roster? Rob Pelinka has failed LeBron and AD. He has failed the fans. He built a terrible team that I believe led to the Anthony Davis injury. So obviously this injury affects this season. If the front office believes that the season is lost, then they'll be unlikely to make a trade. Why trade away your assets when you know you can't win? Might as well just hold on to those assets. Let this year be about LeBron beating the all-time scoring record. Let Westbrook's contract expire, and you regroup for next season. Of Of course, they have to wait a little bit before they can actually make that decision. They need to see how the team responds to this injury. It's unlikely, but maybe they step up in AD's absence and win enough games to stay in the playoff hunt until his return, if indeed it's only for a month. So AD's injury affects how they'll approach this season. But it could also affect their direction of the franchise moving beyond this season. Maybe they decide their championship window with LeBron and AD is closed. Maybe they don't believe AD is durable enough to be the face of their franchise. Maybe LeBron and AD decide the Lakers are no longer the best fit for them due to their poor team management. Who knows? This injury has raised a lot of questions and has left a lot of us with uncertainty. All we know is that this is bad news. It's always bad when you lose one of your best players. And all we can do now is hope for a speedy recovery and hope that the team is able to step up while he's recovering.